But the thing is, the Best Man movie. The Best Man movie was great. I love the movie The Best Man Holiday, the sequel to the original Best Man from 1999. The thing is, everybody in the movie looked good. Everybody in the movie, they looked absolutely wonderful. Everybody looks good. They're in their 40s now, and everybody just looked wonderful. And I like the movie. Number one, successful black folks. I love seeing that. I just love seeing successful black people movies. That's why I like some of Tyler Perry's movies, like Why Did I Get Married? I love seeing stuff like that. Successful black people doing fun shit. And that's a reason why a lot of critics will say little slick shit about movies like that. I mean, because all the Tyler Perry's, they're not masterpieces, but the movies like Why Did I Get Married? That was a very good movie. I liked the first Why Did I Get Married? Very good movie. I liked it. And the critics just shitted on that movie. And the movie, I think really, movies like that where you see successful black people romantically involved, having real romantic issues or real relationship issues, and they're self-sufficient. A lot of critics and a lot of people in the dominant society, I don't think that they can relate to that. They just simply can't, that's foreign to them because of what you've been taught about black folks. Now, my favorite movie of all time is Boomerang. Y'all heard me say that a million times. Boomerang, all-time favorite movie. Beautiful movie. Good-looking black folks, successful, self-sufficient, sexy, funny, witty, romantic, real fly. That movie got very bad reviews too. And the thing is, well, you say Tyler Perry reinforces negative black stereotypes, but other people do too, and y'all don't say nothing about them, so I don't want to hear about Tyler Perry. Y'all have all that venom for Tyler, and everybody else is shitting on you worse than Tyler, but you say nothing about them. Tyler's my dude. I love Tyler Perry. But this movie, Best Man Holiday, successful black folks, nice cribs, nice rides, real fly, and the critics were talking a little greasy. There was one white character in there who was Nia Long's boyfriend. And the critics, I heard a few critics kind of mention him kind of salty. As they talked about the movie, they said, yeah, there was a token white guy in the movie. Yeah, the token white character, they hardly had him in the movie, the token white guy. I said, okay, that's interesting. Because the thing is, we're always the tokens in movies. We're always the goddamn token black person in the movie, and usually we doing some real stupid shit. At least they didn't have him doing nothing stupid. In a lot of movies, black people are the tokens, and nobody bats an eye about it. But now in this movie, the roles are somewhat reversed. People kind of feel a certain way about it. You know what I'm saying? In the movie, I noticed little things like, and this will get to the critics, because they see stuff that a lot of black folks just don't see. Like in this movie, The Best Man, when they were having like little parties and stuff, they had like a lot of whites in the background serving. Now, the average person don't even catch that. But people in the dominant society, they catch that. They're like, wait a minute. Because they did that in Boomerang. You understand? They did that in Boomerang. In the movie Boomerang, they kind of marginalized certain white characters where they weren't really needed for the story. Like the movie Boomerang was an all-black cast, and you don't even notice that it's an all-black cast because everything is just so fly, and race was never really a factor in the movie. And in the movie Best Man Holiday, race wasn't really a factor in the movie either. Now, some of the critics did get a little upset because of a couple of not even hardcore racial jabs that they took at the white character. I think somebody called him Robin Thicke. Hey, what's up with Robin Thicke? But they didn't really shit on him. You know, they treated the dude equal. Nobody's spoiling anything. I'm not going to give up too many spoilers here. But the white character was treated just like a lot of black characters are treated in white movies. It was kind of, he's insignificant to the story. To a certain degree. We don't really need you in the storyline. But we choose to have you a part of what we have going on. Meaning, you're not the savior here. Because a lot of, in the movie Best Man Holiday, there was a lot of whites serving the black folks. And I think that was done on purpose by the director to a certain degree. And a lot of critics within the dominant society, I don't think they like that. Because they catch that very quickly. They catch that. They're like, wait a minute. And USA Today, and I was just about to bring that up. You know, USA Today, they put out, because the movie did great this weekend. And USA Today said that the movie Thor is almost upsetted by the race-themed movie The Best Man Holiday. So USA Today, they called the movie Best Man Holiday race-themed movie. Now, they changed it. See, what happened with USA Today, they got called out because people said, wait a minute, whoa, that movie is not race-themed. Best Man Holiday is not race-themed at all. Race is not really a factor in the movie. The movie has nothing to do with race. The movie has zero to do with race. The movie's a romantic comedy. It's just about romance and friendship. The movie has zero to do with race. The only thing about race is that black folks are in it. But USA Today, you know what they did? USA Today got caught because USA Today is a conservative publication. USA Today, they cater to like the Fox News crowd. So basically what they were saying is the movie Thor and this nigga movie were going neck and neck, which is what they were trying to let their readers know. This Negro movie is doing better than Thor. But USA Today, they had to change it. They deleted the tweet because they tweeted that. Then on their online site, they changed the name. Then they called it diverse. Some bullshit. But they changed it because they got caught and they got called out. There was nothing racially themed about that movie. And that's what's very interesting. People always want us to not focus on race, but you focus on race. Other people focus on race. Other people focus on race. And they focus on our race. But I'm glad the movie did well. And there was a very, let me get to that Nia Long scene. Because again, like I said, the white characters were just kind of marginalized. And there was one scene in the movie, and I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but Nia Long's dating this white dude. And, you know, they kicking and doing their thing. And there was one scene in the movie where they were standing outside the house, and the white guy said to Nia, like, you know, I love your independent thing, your whole Olivia Pope thing. He's made a reference to Olivia Pope. Yeah, I love the whole independent woman thing. But, you know, sometimes I feel like you just don't need me. And she looked at him and said, well, I don't. Then he got kind of butthurt about it. And she's like, oh, I should have went there with it. But I think that was a very powerful scene because the director, what they were saying, that was a great scene. I love that scene. And I hope people caught what that meant. Basically, that was like, we don't need you in this motherfucking movie. I choose to be with you. I don't need you. I choose to be with you. I choose to be with you. That was very powerful. And I hope a lot of sisters caught on to that. That was very powerful. And that was his role in the whole movie. I'm pretty sure that's what the writer who wrote that dialogue, what he was putting in the movie, was like, we don't need you. You're not the savior of none of us. This movie don't need your ass. We choose to have you in this movie. You dig? And that was powerful. That was deep. I like that. And that was very clever. Y'all got to look at the clever nuances that Malcolm D. Lee put in the movie. He put a lot of nice little clever stuff in there. You dig? But that was very profound. And the movie was great. Terrence Howard was very funny in the movie. Great movie. Very emotional. And that's another thing. The critics will, oh, it's so emotional, too emotional. The thing is, some of these critics, I really don't think that they can have an emotional connection to a black audience like that. I think there's something that they just can't feel that emotional connection. Because I saw black people in the movie were crying and shit. My lady was crying. Nigga, I had to man up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's Spike Lee's cousin. You know, it was very emotional because we see these characters, we see people we know. As black folks, we see these characters, we see our uncles, our friends, our cousins, we see our loved ones, we see people we dated, we see people, we see them and we know them. We know people like that. We see people like that. You know, so we can have that emotional connection. It will affect us a certain way. And I think a lot of the critics are, oh, it's just too emotional. And I didn't like all the emotional. Because I don't think that they can really feel an emotional attachment unless they see them saving us. You know what I'm saying? For example, the movie The Blind Side. The movie The Blind Side was supposed to be about Michael Orr. It's based on his autobiography. The book is based on his autobiography, but the movie is about Sandra Bullock, her character, and how nice she was, and that's how people can have an emotional connection. People within the dominant society, they emotionally connect with Sandra Bullock instead of Big Mike and his crackhead mother. Oh, his mother's on crack. Oh, he's just a big dumb nigga running around. Oh, they don't emotionally, they feel pity, but they don't have an emotional connection where it really touches them. Like, you know, you feel pity for certain things, like black folks on crack and crack mother and all that. So, oh, I'm going to give her $20. It's that type of shit. You feel pity. But with Sandra, she was the main character. You like, that was, oh, she's such a sweet woman to take care of that nigga, baby, and those niggas. And, oh, she's such a, God bless Sandra Bullock. Give this bitch an Oscar. You know what I'm saying? That's how they look at her, because they can have an emotional connection to her instead of the black crackhead mother. You dig what I'm saying? And that's the same thing. Again, I think they felt the same way with the Best Man Holiday. People within the dominant society, they can't feel those emotions for other black folks like we do unless there's a white savior there. I really think that to a certain degree. That's why people like the movie within the dominant society. They love The Butler. They love 12 Years a Slave. See, with movies like that, there's always a Negro getting patted on the head. They sympathize with somebody white treating them nice. Like a pet. It's like, oh, you're so good to that nigga. Oh, you're so good to, oh God, you treated that nigga with so much dignity. Oh, God bless you. God bless you, Sandra Bullock. It's that type of thing. And just like the movie The Help. The movie The Help is the same way. You couldn't, the dominant society, they couldn't sympathize with the black females emotionally. You felt pity for them, but you felt more of an emotional attachment to the white women who were speaking up for them. Oh no, you fired the mammy? Why did you fire the mammy? And white people, oh God. You know, then you cry because the white woman is crying. You dig what I'm saying? So the best man didn't have a white savior to sympathize with. Because there were a couple of white saviors. Like in the movie 12 Years a Slave, Brad Pitt was the white savior, by the way. If you saw the movie, 12 Years a Slave was a good movie. But again, if there is no white savior, a lot of folks in the dominant society ain't fucking with it. And Brad Pitt came at the last part of the movie. He came out of nowhere to be the savior. He came out of nowhere with his cape on. Brad Pitt was the savior in 12 Years a Slave. If you saw the movie, by the way. But again, in the movie Best Man Holiday, there is no white savior. All the black people are fly, well-to-do, educated, great careers, and self-sufficient. And when Nia Long told that dude, I don't need you, I'm like, oh, I wanted people to catch in this. That's heavy. That's heavy what she just told him. They're telling him his role for the whole movie. We don't need you. You are not the savior here. That was very slick how the writer put that in there. It's very meticulous. It's very thorough. But the movie was great. And I think the movie had like a budget of $17 million. And the movie's doing great. The movie's doing great. I'm gonna go see it again. I want that movie to get all the money it can get. We need more movies like that. I love it, love it, love it. I love movies like that. So again, I like to look at all the subliminal.